Guys, the Eagles can win this game. The odds are against the Eagles in this game, and if you think it's wrong for the odds to be against the Eagles in this game, you're delusional. Um, I, I wish I could tell you that this Dallas team looks like they're just a flash in the pan, like they just got lucky so far that, they're not really going to be a team that makes some noise, but this Dallas Cowboys team looks really good. But the Eagles can win this game. The Eagles can win this game, and it may not look like that much of a shocker if it does happen. So, now, getting the props out of the way first, Zeke Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott. Now, I ain't got a bad word to say about this guy, and that's why I'm bummed out, because I think the Cowboys found the single next best thing. Anyone who thought Todd Gurley was the next best thing at running back in this league, you need to watch Zeke Elliott play a little bit because that'll change your tune. This guy is just... He's just a powerful running back with skill, with good decision making, and he's got a really good offensive line in front of him. And I hate that. I hate that with a passion. Because Dak Prescott, who is playing well, the biggest fear factor I have in this game is Zeke Elliott. I don't know what you're going to do to stop him. If the Eagles had running backs X, Y, and Z for Washington running all over him, what's going to make me believe that this team is going to nut up and shut up and stop the run against a guy that looks way better than X, Y, and Z does for the Washington Redskins? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. A lot of people tend not to be too impressed with Dak Prescott right now. I can kind of see that, but like one of the biggest knocks on Dak Prescott right now is that, he doesn't throw a long ball. Like, you don't see him throwing long 30-yard passes. You see, like, a little, like, slot reception to Cole Beasley that, the ball travels 8 to 10 yards and then Cole takes it another 20 yards down the field. You see shit like that happen. But here's the thing. Like, I don't even weigh that into a factor, because when you're running the ball so well, you don't have to worry about the long ball from your quarterback. Like, you don't have to worry about that, because Dallas isn't going into fourth quarters of games down 14, 17, 21 points, stuff like that. You're seeing games that are competitive up to the fourth quarter or a touchdown away where they can, retake the lead. And, you don't have to worry about, oh man, we need 20, 30-yard passes out of Dak on these drives. We're running out of time. You don't see that. You don't have to worry about that. But that's one of the ways the Eagles can win this game. If the Eagles can get ahead in this game, make Dallas play catch-up, or get ahead by that 14-plus margin, kind of like what you saw with the 49ers. I know that's like, well, that's a terrible example because the Cowboys came back to win that game. But that defense is nothing to write home with about in San Francisco. And the Eagles defense is something that you could bank on, especially if you give them a good lead and give them confidence, give them time to rest, get plenty of offensive drives. And speaking of getting plenty of time off of offensive drives, that's one of the main reasons why Dallas's defense looks so good this year. I wish I could tell you that they look as every bit of chumps as they have been the past few years. With a few stellar examples. I mean, the Dallas defense hasn't looked that bad, but at times it has looked that bad. But this year, the Dallas defense has looked very, very good. And like I said, one of the main reasons why is, with Romo in there, you would consistently see 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs. You would consistently see good drives as well. But you're not seeing those 3 and outs this year with Dak and Zeke Elliott there in the backfield. And that's taking a mediocre defense and making them look above average, in my opinion. There's no real edge rushers to write home about. The linebacking core is decent. Secondary is okay. But they look a lot better if you give them time to sit on the bench and rest before drives, before coming back in on another defensive drive. Well, it's offensive drive for their team, defensive stand. Okay, yeah, I know that sounds stupid to say defensive drive. Anyway, so how can the Eagles win this game? One of the factors that I stated before is shut down the run. Obviously, it goes without saying, duh. But I want to see how Dak Prescott plays in this game. Like I said before, I'm not selling him short or anything. He's looked exceptional for the role that he's been given. But that's the key part here. The role that he has been given. This is the first game that this is Dak Prescott's team officially. Now, he can lose this if he shits the bed. Probably in just one game, Jerry Jones will go right back to his love mate and put him back in the backfield. But Zeke has always had in the mindset. Now, I'm sure he always knew he could potentially be the starter for the remainder of the year based on how he played. But he's always in interviews and always in his mind knew that this was Tony Romo's team. This was Tony Romo's spot that he was holding down. And once healthy, Jerry's just going to throw his boy right back in there. And I'm sure Dak always considered that to be the realistic reality until they went up to Green Bay last week and beat the Packers pretty soundly. Including a very nice drive from Dak and the boys near the end of that game. I know I'm not talking too much about the Eagles here, but us Eagles fans know what this team can do. You should be worried more about what Dallas can do, and by me pointing out what Dallas is doing well, hope that the Eagles exploit that. So don't think, I'm not giving a proper Eagles preview here by saying, the Eagles should do this and that, and Zach Ertz should show up to play, and Jason Kelsey should stop fucking holding, Okay, we know all that. But I just think it's a psychologically different game for Dak Prescott now because he is a quote-unquote official starter. I mean, even though he's officially started, up to week 7, 8 here, you just got to wonder, is he going to play different? He's getting the reins. You are the man on this team right now. Huge game, huge rivalry, Sunday Night Football, 8:30, which, by the way, I'm going to be a little late to, so you're not going to see me tweeting about the game right away, but I'll be home by 9 o'clock or whatever. Anyway, I want to see how Dak plays in this game because it's going to be interesting because this is a guy who, frankly, probably thought he wasn't going to see any time on the field until Tony got injured. Well, granted, that's what happened, but I'm sure he thought it was going to be in the regular season where he was going to be shoehorned in. So I want to see how he plays, knowing that he is the man. As far as Dez Bryant coming back, that makes no difference to me. Dez Bryant has not been a playmaker for a good almost 2 seasons now. Whether if he was in this game or not in this game, it wouldn't change my fear factor at all in this game. I would be more fearful if Romo was playing because I would fear the long ball option more with Tony to Dez, but that not being the case, that doesn't change my outlook of this game at all. But on top of everything else, this is the top 2 highest performing quarterbacks, in my opinion, that got picked out of the draft this year. It could be one of many great rivalry games. Because as nice as it was seeing Donovan here in Philly, the first initial years between Eagles and Dallas that Donovan was here for a good 6-7 years, the rivalry wasn't much of anything. Philadelphia was kicking their ass the majority of the time, and Dallas was cycling through quarterbacks faster than, I don't know, pick an analogy. It was fast. Anyway, so this could be interesting. This is we could be seeing 2 of the great future quarterbacks facing off and on rival teams. This is, if this is, and not to give these guys that much credit right now, if Wentz and Prescott, end up being 2, future Hall of Fame type quarterbacks, this could be like a Peyton versus Brady type scenario, except they're in the same division. Like, imagine that. Imagine seeing a Peyton and Brady play each other 2 times a year. And again, we got a long way before we get to Peyton and Brady status, but I'm just hypothetically saying. God, that would be such fun fucking football to watch, man. To see 2 classic quarterbacks, 2 future Hall of Famer quarterbacks. And again, we got a long way to get there. I get that. I know. I'm pumping my brakes, but I'm just saying hypothetically. I'm just like my mind is getting moist since I don't have a vagina to get moist. My mind is getting moist at the thought of these guys being 2 of the premier quarterbacks in the league, and we get to see them face each other twice, maybe sometimes 3 times a year. That's exciting. I hope Dak is everything he looks to be so far this year, and I hope Wentz ends up being everything he looks to be so far this year. But I hope Dak shits the bed this week, man. The Eagles can win this game. The Eagles can win this game if they control this game with their front 7 on defense. And Carson Wentz has a very ridiculously accurate game where receivers don't drop the fucking ball. Maybe we get an appearance from Nelson Aguilar. And, maybe we get a special teams touchdown or 2. That won't hurt either because we've gotten a couple of them from the special teams this year. The Eagles can win this game, guys. Am I predicting the Eagles to win this game? No, I am not. Because I like to think that I know quite a bit about the game of football, and when I watch the Dallas Cowboys play, which I've seen many of their games this year, all but 2 of their games I've actually watched this year, that looks like a team that is a world beater. I wish I could tell you otherwise, but they look like world beater, but at times when you see like the game against San Francisco, it's like, damn, why are they struggling against this team? You know, even a world beater isn't going to look like a world beater every single week in the NFL. But still, the vulnerability is there. Dallas isn't that good that you're like, oh yeah, there's no way the Eagles are going to win this game. Like, they have no business even playing them here. It's in Dallas, home field advantage, which means nothing in Dallas. I want to see breakout games from guys like Zach Ertz, man. Man, your contract got re-upped, son. Why aren't you playing like you deserve that money you just got paid from the team, man? Oh man, Jeffrey opened up his checkbook for you, son. Start earning those big up paychecks you're getting. And the penalties. I just retweeted something that one of the highest calling penalty crews is reffing this game. All right. I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh man, well, bad calls" or anything like that. I don't like leaning on that shit. You very rarely hear me ever say that, "Oh, a bad penalty costs this game." If it wasn't for bad penalty, because frankly, make the game beyond the reach of bad penalties. All right, use that as more motivation. If you see a ref crew is calling tight, then don't give them a reason to call penalties. Get ahead and take that out of the equation in the second half of the game, all right? The onus is still on a team to nut up, shut up, deal with it if flags are flying loosely. The Eagles can win this game. God damn, I am so fucking excited. I know, I'm just calm in the middle. It's Friday. It's Friday. Pumping my brakes till we get to Sunday, but Jesus Christ. Dak versus Wentz, just a complete new matchup, 1-on-1 against it. Fuck, man. Oh, if the Eagles shut down Zeke Elliott. Oh, God. I want as many, and you Dallas fans have been holding up. I'll give you credit because you guys show up out of the woodwork when your team actually shows up to play and you start playing well this season. I want as many Dallas Cowboy fans to sound off as possible because I want to stick this in your fucking face if the Eagles win this game. But realistically, your boys should win this game. But if you don't, he'll have no fury like the post-game video the Archfiend is going to make on this one. Until then, fuck Chip Kelly for old time's sake. That is all.